Stampers, Judy Klock here at Stampin with Crafty Klock. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching this tutorial. I hope you like what I have in store for you. Please remember to click on the subscribe now and hit that little bell so you'll always be reminded when I have new content uploaded. Ready? Let's get started. Hey Stampers! I'm so excited to share this tutorial with you today. I have been eyeballing the Poinsettia Place suite since I got the August to December mini catalog, and I finally broke down and got it, and I am so happy that I did. It is a gorgeous set, much easier to use than I had first thought. I will admit the number of dies really kind of put me off at first because I thought it was going to be difficult to put the flowers together, but it's not difficult at all. I think you'll be really pleasantly surprised at how easy it is. So give me a minute to flip my camera around and we'll get started. Ready? Let's go. So the Poinsettia Play Suite comes with all of the items you see on this page. You get the beautiful designer series paper, the stamp set and the dies, this plush poinsettia specialty paper, these beautiful beaded pearls, and the sheer red ribbon. And the beauty of the suite is you can order all of these products with just one number. So let's take a look at that gorgeous designer series paper first. So as always, our designer series paper is double-sided, and you get a total of 12 sheets, 2 each of these 6 designs. And I love how one side is got a nice pattern to it, and the other side is usually sort of like more for a background. It's very tone-on-tone, monochromatic. And the colors that match, that coordinate with this are real red, soft suede, garden green, and old olive, and bumblebee. So aren't these really nice? I love these papers. Love them. So, and I love all the colors that really coordinate with them. And some of them really just aren't traditional Christmas colors like the soft suede, but it really works out really well. And look at this gorgeous flocked paper. This is that plush paper. It's like vellum with, it's almost got like a velveteen feel to it. And our dies will cut out some of these leaves and some of these flowers. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Can you see the flocking on it? Really a pretty paper. It's a nice weight to it too. And then you get these beads with it, with the suite. Look at how pretty these are for the centers of your poinsettias. Stunning, absolutely stunning. This real red ribbon that I love. I've already used it on a lot of different projects that I've been working on this year. And you also get the stamp set with 18 stamps. And we have dies that will cut out the 3 flowers that you can use to build to make the poinsettia. This image, which is great for coloring, we can cut that one out. We can cut out the pine leaves, the holly leaves, and also the holly berries. And there's a couple of sentiments in there. And you get the matching dies that coordinate, and there are 18 dies in there. So you really get quite a lot for the suite. So today we're going to work on 2 projects. We're going to do a very simple stamping project, and a very wise team member on her Tuesday tip said, let the pretty paper do all the work. So in this one, we're really relying on that beautiful designer series paper and that specialty paper to really make this card pop. So easy for beginning stampers. And then we're going to get really crazy, and we're going to do lots of die cuts. We're going to do some heat embossing. We're going to use a Stamparatus, and we're going to make this popped up card for our second card. And that's really geared towards avid crafters. But I wanted to show you the different dies, because this is what had me concerned, was all of these pieces. But you have these 3 petals here that coordinate with stamped images, these 3 flowers, and all of these will cut the image by themselves, or you can put these inserts in them and they will give them an embossed look. And there's only one way for these inserts to fit. So once you figure it out and you play around with it, you'll see, I think it goes that way. And you can cut that out, and that will give you like the veining on the paper as you cut it out. So you have the large, the medium, and the small with the outer frame and also the inserts. Then you have 2 what I call the extra small flowers. Okay, and those will cut and emboss at the same time. Then we have our holly leaves, and again, you have the image where you can cut out the stamped image, or you can put the inserts in there and it will cut out and emboss at the same time. And then we have the centers, the solid center and the one that creates an outline, so you can lay them one on top of the other. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. We're going to work on our simple stamping card first. So easy. So we're going to start with the base of soft suede. This is 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. And for the inside, I'm going to add a piece of Whisper White that is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to put this in there, and I'm not going to stamp on this because I'm using this as a thank you card. And when I have thank you cards, I like the inside page to be blank so I can write my own little note to the person that I'm sending it to. So we're just going to put that in there. There we go. Now we're going to take this beautiful designer series paper and we're just going to lay that right on top. I told you this is going to be so simple. It's criminal how easy this is. Let me make sure I'm just putting the adhesive on here so you didn't miss anything. I forgot that I was out of screen. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and lay this on there. Then I have a piece of that gorgeous embossed paper. I did have a piece of that gorgeous embossed paper. And I'm just going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of that. And then I'm going to pop it on my card at a bit of an angle. Okay, I'm not going to put it straight like that. I'm just going to kind of tilt it just a bit and just kind of put it just a little bit off center. And that's all we have for that. Then I've punched out a label out of Bumblebee. This is our Bumblebee cardstock, and we're going to stamp in soft suede. We're just going to stamp that little thank you sentiment. And it just says, thank you for making this a wonderful season. We're just going to go, and because these are photopolymers, I am using my Stampin' Pierce mat so that I can get a nice clean impression. And if you want to order this set after this video is done, down in the comments, I'll have a link to my online store and you can go ahead and purchase this suite for yourself. And then I will have the instructions in my blog probably late tomorrow. It's Friday. I'll probably have it up by Saturday evening just because I've got some errands to run tomorrow. So I hope you like this. I had so much fun when I got this stamp set arrived on Tuesday and I had to play with it immediately. I just thought it was such a fun stamp set. All right, so you could leave it just like that and not do anything else. I'm going to pop on just a few of our gilded gems just to bring a little bit more bling. But I really think that this is something that a beginner stamper could surely make this card because it's just so incredibly simple. But I don't think it lacks anything in the wow factor. So there you have it. That's our very first card, simple stamping. We're letting our designer series paper do all the hard work on this card and just really create that gorgeous background for our little sentiment to sit on. All right, moving on, we're going to come up to our next card. This is going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be so pretty when it's done. So I was in Michael's the other day. I had to pick up something, and I saw a wreath there that was the red. It was black and white buffalo check and the red, and I thought it looked so pretty. I said, ooh, I need to take that back, and I need to do something with my poinsettias with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of Whisper White. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to stamp in real red just the Merry Christmas. This is going to be the inside of my card. So I always say stamp the inside of your card before you attach it, because if you make a mistake, paper has 2 sides and we can always flip it over. So that looks pretty good. So I have a piece of real red here. This is cut to 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And this one's going to open up more like a portrait as opposed to our thank you card, which kind of opened up like a book. So we're going to take our inside and we're just going to attach that. We're going to use our Stampin' Seal Plus. Love our Stampin' Seal Plus. Great product. Very quiet. Holds really well. And I'm just going to put that in there. That's it for our inside. Now for our outside, we're going to do a couple of different things. I'm so excited. So I'm going to take my Stamparatus, which if you don't have one, this is a fabulous tool to have. And I'm going to use it to get that great buffalo check. And I'm going to put it just like that, okay? I'm not going to use the magnets because I want to make sure that I get the stamp on the entire piece of white. So in order to do that, I can't have the magnets on my piece of paper. But I'm going to take this, I'm going to move this out for just 1 second. I'm going to take that and I'm going to ink it up with Memento Tuxedo Black. Now, this will have a distressed look to it. Those solid black squares, when you stamp them, it will look like you might not have put enough ink on it, but that is just the way the stamp is made. I guess it's made to look like it's got that worn, you know, fabric-y kind of feel where the, you know, sometimes the check is kind of brighter in one spot and not so bright in another spot. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to pull my Stamparatus bottom back. Okay. Now I've kind of already positioned my paper where I think it needs to be. And I'm just going to close this, maybe just up one hair. One hair. Okay. And over one hair. There we go. That should be just about perfect. Okay, I'm just going to put some gentle pressure on there to make sure I get a good impression. Ooh, let's see. Let's take it off. Oh, perfect. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, I am loving the way that came out. Now, I took a strip of basic black. This is 5 1/4 by about 3/4 of an inch. And I'm just going to put it down there because I'm going to wrap a strip of that sheer red ribbon around it. And I just liked the way the ribbon looked kind of against the black as opposed to the check. This just, I think, made it a little bit more dramatic. Kind of popped out a little bit more. All right. So I'm going to cut about, I don't know, maybe 6 inches of ribbon. Just a little bit to go over, a little extra to go over the top and the bottom. And where I just have my scissor, there it is. All my scissor charms on there, so I know which one is mine when I go to different events. I'm just going to add some snail to the top and bottom here. And then I'm just going to take my ribbon and then I'm just going to kind of place it on the black where I want it and then just secure it in the back. Okay, there we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. We're not going to see much of the ribbon, but I think it's always fun to have a little bit of, I don't know, ribbon and doodads and whatnots on the card. Okay, so now I'm ready to lay this down on my card front. Okay, we've stamped it, we've gotten our ribbon on there. So now let's go ahead and place this on our card base. All right, now let's go ahead and get started with our different pieces. So I told you these are going to go together so easily. So we're going to make 3 flowers. We're going to make a big flower, a little flower, and an extra small flower. Okay. So to do that, I need some glue dots. And I'm just going to take a glue dot. I'm going to start with the big flower first. And I'm going to take a glue dot. I'm going to put it right in the middle of my flower. And then I'm going to take the medium flower and I'm going to layer that over it. I'm going to put these petals in the openings on the large flower. So we're covering up those openings between the petals. I'm going to do the same thing. Take another glue dot. I'm going to take our small flower, do the same thing. I'm going to, you know, twist it around so that these petals are over the openings between our medium flower. I'm going to do it once more with my extra small flower. And I have no idea if that's truly how the sizes go, but that's just how I'm referring to them. Okay, now I'm going to take one more glue dot. I don't know how this is going to work out. Let me hold off on that for a minute. I cut out my centers. I wanted to try something different on this one. Probably not a good thing to do when you're doing a video, but we're going to try it anyway. So I cut out an embossed center out of basic black, and I'm going to take the bumblebee one that I cut out with the holes, like the outline, and we're just going to kind of lay that over our basic black. Now I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that on the middle. If I can get these silly glue dots to stay down. Oh my goodness. These glue dots are very sticky. And we're going to put that there. So there's our center for our big flower. Okay, we're going to put that aside for now. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to make another one with just our small centers. I'm just going to take another glue dot and I'm going to put that in the middle. That's not what I want. This is what I want. We're going to put that, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to layer that second one. This is the same size. These two are the exact same size, and I'm just going to, again, kind of turn them so those petals are covering up and opening. And then I'm going to take an extra small one, and we're going to put one more on there. Okay. And again, we're going to turn it and put those petals so they kind of fall in between the other ones. Okay, going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to take that basic black. I'm going to take my bumblebee, and I am going to just kind of layer that on top and then put the whole thing on that flower with a glue dot. And I'm using a silicone sheet. If you don't have one of these when you're working with liquid glue, godsend. Saves you from getting glue everywhere. The paper won't stick to it. It's a fabulous tool to have if you don't have that. Highly recommend. Okay, I'm going to put another glue dot there. Okay, come on, little glue dot. There we go. Okay, we're going to put that one on there. Then I have my last two, like extra small ones. And we're just going to make a little small flower. So I'm going to take one little glue dot and put it there. And I'm just going to kind of, again, rotate these. Now, I'm going to come back and I'm going to put an in-color enamel dot on this in just a minute. But first, let's figure out how we want to place these on our card. So I kind of like that, but I have to get my leaves in there. So I'm going to put maybe one there. And then we'll put maybe two here. And then we'll put that last little flower maybe right there. Okay, so we've got that. So I'm going to put my leaves down with snail. I'm not going to pop those out with dimensionals like I am the flowers. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back. Okay, we've got that one. We've got these two going down. Okay, let's see, one there. There's no right or wrong way to put these down. It's just wherever you feel like you want to put it down. Okay. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to come back in with some dimensionals. I'm going to place my big flower first. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and pop this on there with a couple of dimensionals. Maybe one more. It's a big flower. I want to make sure it stays. Just take these off. I love these coverings. I find them everywhere. On my dog's nose, on my work papers, upstairs in my bedroom, even though I'm down in the basement. They just somehow mysteriously gather legs and walk away from the craft room. Okay, so we're going to put that one there. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to put a couple of dimensionals on this one. Again, probably just 3 should do it. This one isn't quite as large as our large flower. Okay, let's pop this guy kind of right up there. Oh yeah. And I'm gonna use the mini dimensionals for our mini flower. Maybe just like 2 should do it. 2 should be sufficient. Okay, we're gonna get that off. Okay, turn that. And we'll put that one kind of right there. And let's get one of those bumblebee enamel dots, and we'll put that right on the middle of that flower, and that'll just kind of tie the whole thing together. Perfect. All right, looks good so far, right? Now we still have a little bit more work to do. I have a circle. I cut out this out of basic black. It's a 2 1/4 inch circle, I think. And we're going to stamp it in Versamark. And then we're going to put some gold embossing powder on there and heat that up. So let me get my sentiment. And this says, "May magic and wonder bloom this holiday." So the placement is really kind of close because, gotta just see, I have so much glare from that light. Okay. It's a bit tight on the circle, but it works. But it's tight, so you just have to be careful when you're placing it down. Or I guess you could just get maybe a 2 1/2 inch circle. So I'm gonna take this, don't wanna smudge it. I'm gonna take my gold embossing powder. Okay. And let's make sure we get all the extra embossing powder off. All right. And here we go. It's gonna get just a little noisy. Okay, here we go. All right. Just good. All right. That looks pretty good. We're going to give it a couple of minutes to set. And then I did this the other day because I don't want it to smudge. I'm not going to turn it upside down and put the dimensionals on my circle. I'm going to put my dimensionals right here on my card front. I kind of know where I need them to go. I'm just going to put on like 3 dimensionals in a pretty tight-knit circle. That should be fine. And then I'm just going to take my basic black circle and put that on top. So there you have it. And that is our stepped up card. So we did 2 tonight, our simple stamping card. We let all our designer series paper do all the hard work on this card, and then we stepped it up with some heat embossing and lots of die cutting. So thanks so much for stopping by this session of Stamping with Crafty Klock. Hope to see you next week. Bye.